Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Esports Report continues. Just like that, we got rid of the grumpy Mr. X, the pretty awful, to be honest, Max, and replaced him with two brilliant people. We got Will.
Brilliant. Wow. I like that. No, I appreciate it. Sorry.
You had a Destiny fail. I just want to point out.
It wasn't my
week, it wasn't
fail,
you,
though. But
it was
pretty
some poor
awesome.
little kid,
Guys,
man.
let's settle down. No matter what, we all know that we're all better at Destiny than Max, even Ben.
Yes.
That's true.
Fact. And I am new, but I'm still better than Max, which is all that matters. But you guys have been doing some awesome stuff with Destiny bounties recently. I obviously was in the room when we announced the first one, kind of taught you guys a little bit about it. How's it just been going? Just a brief overview. Have they been going well? Like, you guys been having fun with it?
Yeah, it's been going really well. We've been having a lot of engagement with our teams and, of course, our audience on the MLG.TV Destiny bounties for weeks 1 and 2. And we're going to talk to you about week 3. We're going to mix it up.
Yes.
3.
Yes.
So normally it's a Thursday show. So normally it'd be today, actually. But we moved it to Saturday for this week. Curveball. We'd like to throw this at you. So it's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern this time, guys. Instead of the regular 8 p.m. Thursday time, it'll be on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be a Trials of Osiris themed show. Of course, anyone who plays Destiny knows that during the weekends, Trials of Osiris, a competitive 3v3 elimination mode.
I see where this is going.
You see where this is going.
I'm connecting all the
dots, and I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I'm seeing week 3.
We're going to have some special guests. We're going to have the whole show just basically themed around Trials of Osiris. So it'll be teams of 3 this time instead of teams of 6. So
I wonder why.
a little less room for people to screw up, right? Like it's going to be, if one of your teammates isn't performing, it's going to affect the whole team a lot more. And more prize money per player, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Now you're getting a little bit more money.
You're splitting 600 3 ways instead of 6 ways.
Right.
So
it's a little bit nicer.
Double your money, double the fun.
I'm entering because it's on Saturday. Okay. Cool. I'll be casting the 2K, but I'll be playing Destiny. That's all that matters. Although I may need to borrow one of your accounts because you will have nicer things than I do.
Yeah.
We do.
Probably in a little bit.
The nice
But
things.
Ben,
all the shiny things.
We've got a special guest with us right now.
We do.
We've got Lieutenant John from Invigorate. Let's bring on John. John, how you doing, man? You won last week.
I'm good. I'm just hanging out at work.
Awesome, man.
Grinding away.
Thanks for coming on with such short notice. As Will said, you guys won last week. I know the first week was super, super close, and you guys just lost, but you redeemed yourself the last week and got on top of the Gunsmith awning before the A team. You just beat them out. I know I was watching Hawkeye stream, actually, and you guys were super, super hyped. It was really, really close. What was that feeling like when you guys finally won and were able to take that deep breath?
Oh, man. Like you said, it was pretty close the week prior, so we were pretty upset in losing in that way, in that manner. Just by having one more person dance, it was just kind of tough luck for us. We're going into that into the tower with only 8 people in it. But, man, after we got up to that, what happened was, there was a skirmish match before that, jumping in an awning. So what we did was the 3 that weren't competing on the skirmish practiced it. So I was one of those guys, so we were able to get that stuff done pretty quick. So I was pretty happy about that. We were pumped because, after losing, we kind of, like you said, we redeemed ourselves and it felt good, winning instead of obviously losing and getting second. So.
I want to go back to something because week 1, I remember you guys told me the way that it ended was you had to get, what was it,
9 people
9 people
dancing all at once, including your team of 6.
Yeah.
Right? So you essentially had to go out and get 3 people to dance with you, and it was this great rush and confusion of hey, dance with us, and messaging people, invite your friends to dance, and all this stuff.
So my big question, really, Lieutenant John, is how did you even try and achieve that? I know obviously you fell short in second place, but trying to convince that many people to dance in Destiny, it's kind of a weird thing to do. I love it because it's kind of troll.
Yeah.
It's cool. But what was the approach you really took to that challenge in particular?
Well, what happened when we got to the tower, we instantly looked at the roster, who was at the tower. So we started messaging those guys, hey, invite your friends over here and start dancing with us, do that. And what happened with, again, those 2 people that were in the tower were AFK.
Oh, no.
So they weren't responding. So, Hawk was pretty salty, losing that way, but he was the most pumped up after we won on the second week.
Dude, that's awesome. The competitive nature.
Yeah. Even with those guys being AFK, you can sort of take a group of 6 people and just dance around someone, and they might be a little bit inclined to dance.
Yeah.
But they're like, okay,
jig.
like maybe I'll give it up. Like, yeah, it seems like something's going on here. So
You know what,
they
what
might.
it really came down to is that one last person, because you can do that. You know, you can just dance, and then 1 or 2 people come in. But that third, that's the final piece. That came down to the Invigorate squad and the A team, just like running around frantic, trying to find that last person.
awesome.
We were losing our minds. They were losing their minds. It was great. However, that was week 1.
Right.
Let's move on to week 2. John, buddy, tell me what you were sort of strategizing once you figured out what the bounties were for week 2.
We tried to stay, a step ahead every time. Obviously, we didn't think that a lot of people in my clan were, the feedback was they wished that the bounties were actually tougher.
Yo, they're calling us out. They're calling us out.
That's crazy. The bounties are too easy.
But we understand, there's a time frame to it, and you guys don't want to stay there till like 2 in the morning to be able to finish the bounty.
Yes, we do.
Oh, no,
Yes, we do.
they
Yes,
love
we
it.
do.
They love it. They'll stay till like 4 a.m. Screw 2 a.m. We'll make the show extra. 2 tomorrow.
Right. But no, I think we wanted to make sure that that we get by, all the bounties pretty quickly. So we were always just staying a step ahead. So while we're doing that first objective, we were already thinking on what to do next. So that's really the main thing to do in these bounties. I think that's the best advice I could give anybody if they were gonna, compete.
Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, in case anyone doesn't know, Invigorate hold the world records for 2 of the world first raid clears. So that sort of
actually.
Sorry.
One of their squad members got the world first PoE, right? The world first level 35 Prison of Elders.
Yeah, I don't know if it was confirmed, but they were definitely up there. But that kind of thinking of like, okay, we're on this part. What are we thinking about for the next part, right? Is like something that sets them apart. So it's like, oh, like we're doing this part of Crota. Like, let's already start strategizing about the end of Crota, so that when we get there, we have a strategy set. We know what we're doing, and we can try stuff out. Whereas other people would be like, okay, now what do we do? And you waste that time.
All right. For those of you guys who didn't know, last week's bounties were buy a green primary, secondary, and heavy weapon from the gunsmith, and win through games of control using them, and you were allowed to use your abilities. Next was beat the level 20 of 8 Prison of Elders without using any ascended weapons, so gimped weapons. The next one was each member of your fire team must perform a triple backflip on their Sparrow, and it has to be on stream in front of your captain's POV.
That's awesome.
Then the next was win a control match without controlling any zones. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. So basically, control zones increase the amount of points you get per kill.
Right, yeah.
Right. So you can still win without controlling anything. So we saw a lot of
got to
teams
be
just
really
neutralize
good.
it. Yeah.
So we allowed neutralizing. It's like, oh, they control it. We can just neutralize it. We just can't cap it ourselves. So that essentially you had to
really
go kill
good.
for kill.
I like that one. That's good.
The next one was the team captain must open 5 ether chests, which means you got to go and farm out some of these random encounter bosses that come with the new House of Wolves DLC.
Okay.
Then the whole fire team must beat the Prison of Elders on level 34 with 2 teams of 3. Next, 3 members of your fire team must reforge a legendary primary weapon and then win a skirmish match only using that weapon, no supers.
Mm-hmm.
And the final one, next one was beat the Shadow Thief Strike, which is the new strike, in less than 12 minutes. 2 teams of 3 must complete. Pretty easy to do, I would say.
Yep.
And then finally, get all 6 fire team members on top of the gunsmith awning in the tower at the same time.
Such troll.
Yes.
Such troll.
Lieutenant John, one question. You said a couple of members of your team thought maybe some of these were a little bit easy. How much more difficult should they be thinking about some of these challenges? Or do you think maybe just more challenges? Like, what would you personally like to see?
I guess what I would like to see is maybe, I know the Crucible one is pretty tough. I mean, I think what it was this time, you could use whatever, but just don't cap a zone. Is that right?
Yeah.
On the
Right.
So I guess you could even put a modifier to that, even just like use assault rifles only, plus not, capping a zone. I think that would be extremely tough.
These guys want to
in
challenge,
PvP
man.
wise.
Step
Because
up.
it's already
Let's get the
Dados
board.
team, they're all just like, this is easy, man. We do this every day. Like,
God, I guarantee you, like, just doing that one first thing would probably take me all night. So, probably not going to be entering in any of these.
talk to me about some of the other challenges. I've highlighted myself just a couple I want to talk to you about. One of them is doing the triple backflips on the Sparrow.
Yes.
I saw you laughing at that one when we mentioned it. Why were you laughing at that one?
Well, it just kind of reminded me what the A-Team did when they started flying off into the abyss and just killing themselves. And I remember when we were catching up because of it, because they lost a lot of time doing that. And I think one of our guys was watching the bounty on the channel, and you were confirming that you actually have to land it. So
right, yeah, the bounty says you got to land a triple backflip.
Oh,
you can't
just do
a
3
triple
spins
backflip
and then
into
fly
your
off
death.
into eternity. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. So they had all done that sort of just to their death, and I was like, hold on a second.
How difficult is that to actually
This is
do?
you gotta land
Is
it.
that
It's pretty hard.
Is that pretty tough?
It's
Yeah.
pretty hard. So, I mean, you have the DLC Sparrow sort of lets you do flips easier, but you still need to load into a zone on Venus with 6 people essentially, and find one jump that everybody can do and do it as fast as possible. So it's not like that jump is at the start. You have to sort of find and search around.
Yeah.
Look
Did
for
you,
it.
when you were covering this, did you kind of have in the back of your minds at least a place where this could possibly be done?
First
We
of
do a
all,
little play testing.
yeah,
Yeah,
we do a
to make
little
sure
play
it's
testing with
possible.
these, but so we had areas sort of in mind. But yeah, there's no like one area that you can only do it in. There was a couple, so I'm glad our
I would
teams
have loved
found
to have
them.
been. I would have
Yeah.
loved to have been in your position, like just kind of watching people fail. You're like,
Oh, it's so funny. It's so great. John, was there any step this week that you kind of got stuck on?
I think it might have been the Sparrow one. I think one of our guys just couldn't do it, and we'd have to kind of tell him exactly what the steps to do. I think you had to use the boost as soon as you got to the ramp. So I think the step prior to the Sparrow one was beat a 28. I think I'm not sure.
It was
but it only
beat the
took
28 Prison of
3
Elders
people.
without any ascended weapons.
Right, exactly. So what we did was just send in the other 3 to go ahead and look for a ramp. Again, we were already, a step ahead, and when they found that, we just went in there with them and got it done pretty quick. But I think one person got stuck on that. I think that's the only thing that we ran a problem with. So the only thing that we lost a lot of time to is kind of matching up on the Crucible.
Right.
So at that point, it's kind of just luck for each team if you could match up like instantly. So that's another thing that's just kind of up there for luck. Who's gonna match up first?
There's we want to introduce a little bit of luck into this stuff, right?
Exactly.
We don't want to make all the challenges like totally luck or something, but
Right.
I mean, with any game like loading up, you're gonna find matches versus. There's nothing we could do about that. But like you said, I don't think you guys lost too much time, and it was super close in the end. One of the other challenges that I wanted to highlight was the team captain, which is yourself, must open 5 Ether chests. Talk to me about the strategy behind that one, because a lot of people don't think there would be.
So what we did, actually, the team captain for last week, we actually used Hawk on that one. But anyway, so what we did, we split up into individuals. So we all went in a different zone, like either Earth, Venus. I think we used Earth or Venus because we didn't know where the moon chess places are. So what we did is each one went to a different zone, and Hawk would just stay in orbit, and whoever the wolves are coming or incoming comes up first, that's where Hawk would go instantly.
So you guys spread out literally across the universe, and we're like, all right, something's going on over here. Invited him in. He would get it done. Open a chest there.
Genius.
Yeah, open a chest there, and then another person on a different planet would be like, oh, it's on mine now, and then he would hop back.
You
Exactly.
really learn the ins and out of the game just from like watching these guys. It's really cool just from like learning the game of Destiny.
That's genius.
There's depth that like no one even knew was there before, which is pretty cool. So, John, my question for you right now is: we've already announced this week's trials Saturday, groups of 3 instead of 6. How does that change up your mentality going into it?
Man, I think it's going to be really interesting because there's going to be a lot of really good teams, and like you said before, in a 6-man team, there's a little bit room for error. But there's so many good players that I think it's going to be a lot closer. A lot more teams are going to be a lot closer together. So I think my strategy is to have a bunch of I picked 2 guys that are really good in PvP, but made sure that they have some PvE experience too, because my guess is that there's still going to be some maybe PoE maybe. So I don't know exactly, but
It's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Can't confirm or deny.
Cannot confirm or deny, but it's a good strategy. Like
If I knew, I'd give you some help, but I genuinely have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, with it being a Trials of Osiris show, there's going to be heavy PvP focus, right? I think it's okay to say that at least.
Correct.
Who have you
no
decided?
PvP at all.
Yeah. Who have you decided to bring on your team?
I'm going to take one of the guys. His name's Pure Data. He's in our team. That was in last week's team. And I have yet decided on a third. I've got a couple of guys that I'm talking to. It's just they haven't got back to me yet.
Okay.
But yeah.
So I've been watching you and Jaeger's streams a lot recently. You guys are pretty much all the time whenever I look. But how have your guys' trials runs been going sort of as a squad? Because I know it can be pretty difficult the further you get into it. You get matched up with pretty good teams.
This weekend we actually had a charity stream for St. Jude's Hospital. So we're actually running viewers in there and donators in there. So it was pretty cool because we raised over like $3,700.
Yeah, I was watching these guys throughout the weekend. They were doing an awesome job, just like getting viewers that 9-0 run, not any losses, just doing it for charity. Also, you
That's
guys,
awesome.
Yeah, really, really awesome stuff.
Imagine that was pretty hot too.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know. Has trials overall been difficult for you guys?
I would say no for the most part because I know Lumi and Scamper, those guys went like 126 wins out of 130. And I think I've only lost
something like
3.
Yeah, crazy.
They're really good.
So yeah.
Ben's sort of
Ben's
like,
just kinda lost it.
flabbergasted right now. He's like, what?
I didn't play with these guys, man.
Yeah.
Screw you guys. I thought you were
Skip
good.
was the one who went 57-0
Yeah.
in that video, so you recognize the name.
Yeah. That's what I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I think I got one last question before we let John go. Dude, if you could make your own bounty, what would it be?
We asked them this. We asked them this
Asked me
last week. Do a Trials of Osiris theme one this time.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'd say the bounty you could only use Trials of Osiris weapons.
Oh,
What you
that's
get
a
as
good one.
drop.
That's a good one.
So,
Yeah,
I
if
like
you. That means you would.
No
if you didn't have
exotics.
any, you'd have to buy that fusion rifle and only use that fusion rifle.
That would screw over some
That
people
one's pretty
royally.
good. Yeah, that one
Me
might,
included,
that one
'cause I
might
didn't get to play
find
last
its
weekend.
way in somehow. But awesome.
Everyone
Thank you.
hears that like, yo, I
Yeah,
know.
right.
Damn.
and that's why I told my guys, hey, you better level that stuff up because they might do something like that. So.
They're already thinking about
You
it.
already dude, that's the next level of strat. I gotta give you some serious props to that. Like, already thinking about it. Gotta respect it. Good luck this week, Lieutenant John. Hopefully, you can be back-to-back champion.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Working on it.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers
Although
crossed.
I can't help in any way because I don't know anything about the bounties. Otherwise, I would give you a hint.
So before we go to commercials, guys, we got a highlight video from week 2. Let's roll that up, and then we'll go straight to commercial.
Welcome everybody to the second week of the MLG.TV Destiny Bounty. If you guys weren't here last week, we pit the best Destiny clans in the world against each other. Step 1 of our bounty this week: buy a green primary, secondary, and heavy weapon from the gunsmith and win 3 games of House of Wolves DLC control. And actually, you know what? I'd love to check in with another one of our teams. Let's bring up our MLG Darkness Zone and let's hop in with Datto, actually, Watts and the guys from Map Class.
Who are you? I don't know what's happening.
The next step in the bounty is win a House of Wolves DLC control game without controlling any zones. Of course, the catch on this is that zone neutralizing is allowed. Well, that's really interesting. People are quitting the game. You know what? Like, we are losing a game, and they're not controlling any zones. Like, what is going on? This cannot be happening. Step 3: each member of your fire team must land a triple backflip on their Sparrow.
Oh my, what?
And I think Datto's completed it, and now the rest of his team is just doing it. I think they're all waiting. You can see him, Bunnies, that was a little nervous. I think it's going to, the last couple challenges, we might see one or two teams pull away again. But I'm excited. Like, I hope it comes down to every team at the gunsmith awning jumping on that tree, trying to get up there for our last bounty. Speaking of A-team, they almost have the boss down. I think they all have been using Black Hammer and maybe a Gallahorn every once in a while. But that Solar Burn really, really helping. They're in a challenge that is reforge a legendary weapon and then win a skirmish game only using that legendary weapon. This is once again where we're going to see their PvP skills dominate. And you know what? It doesn't matter what weapon I'm using. It doesn't matter that it's a weapon with no perks. that looks awesome but is not really useful yet, we're still going to win. Our last bounty, get all 6 fire team members on top of the gunsmith awning at the same time. That one is going to throw some salt into the mix, I'm sure, guys. Oh, he got it. All right, so that's 4 for Invigorate. Invigorate looked like they're going to take this, but you can have one guy strike. Oh, man, that's 5. All right, they only need one more. You're getting up in the street for $600 at this point, right?
It's in their heads right now.
I'm sure you're nervous. Oh, my God, it's going to be...
They're communicating, trying to help him out.
He's lining up.
This is a joke.
Got it. That's it. Invigorate are our winners. That is awesome. That is really awesome to see. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back next week with another episode of the MLG.TV Destiny Bounty.